So we start the webinar. On behalf of Vivek College Bijnor, I welcome all the delegates, participants, attendees who have joined this webinar from various places of India and abroad. And as you know that today we have an amazing guest, Dr. Mayank Agarwal from Gurukul Gandhi University, Haridwar. I want to tell you something about Dr. Mayank Agarwal. Currently, he is working as Associate Professor and HOD, Computer Science and Engineering, Faculty of Engineering of Technology, Gurukul Gandhi University, Haridwar. He has been designated as IBM Cloud Consultant for 2015 and also Microsoft Earth certified as MAIC and is USCRT Cloud Mentor. He has an experience of 16 years in academics and loves to deliver inspiring technical talks. He has represented Uttarakhand, UP West and Himachal as a science communicator in India Science Congress 2014. And since then, he has a passion to talk and teach about how to make use of science in daily life. In his education life, he was a gold medalist and university topper in BTech. He did BTech honors in computer science from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Agra in 2002. He did MTech Computer Science from JRN Rajasthan University in 2006. He did and PhD in 2012 from Gurukul Gandhi University, Haridwar. He has published more than 50 research papers in reputed journals and conferences and miles to go. He believes in strong team work and has organized many successful conferences and workshops. Without wasting time, I would like to request Dr. Mayank Agarwal to share his view on today's topics. Dr. Mayank Agarwal.
Thank you, Dr. Hitesh. It is my pleasure to be in this webinar today. I can see that there are approximately 180 participants, and as Dr. Hitesh has already told that they have joined from different parts of the country. So I once again welcome you all. See, today we'll be speaking on blockchain. This session would be for approximately half an hour or 40 minutes or so. I'll try to cover what is blockchain, what are the basics of blockchain, and in the end, I will be showing you a small practical of 5 minutes. Then we will conclude with this session. For more details, we can be in touch, and I share some links from where you can get more links. In between, if you have any queries, do write down your queries on the chat box. So I'll be answering your queries after the session. In between, if you find any difficulty, do write your queries on the chat box. So just hold on, I'll share my screen, then we will start with the presentation. The screen is visible, I hope.
That's a very share आपकी हो रही है.
Thank you. So friends, first of all, let's see what is blockchain. Just hold on. I want to see the chat box. Yes.
डॉक्टर साहब मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा अगर आप अपना वीडियो ऑन कर ले तो
वीडियो भी ऑन करें.
जी जी.
First of all, let's start with what is blockchain. Now, before we begin with what is blockchain, I hope maximum participants are from computer science and engineering, and they must have gone through certain technologies like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning. They must have heard of. Now, blockchain is one of the technology which is said to be a future technology in academics. Though in industry it is in high demand, it is in high use, but in academics we still feel that blockchain is not used in up to that mark in which it should be used. So we are calling it blockchain as a future technology. To understand what blockchain is, let us consider an example, linked list. I hope that all of us know what is a linked list is. If we revise what we teach in data structure, what is a linked list? A linked list is a collection of different nodes where each node is having a data and an address of another node. So what is a linked list? Linked list, in linked list we have already studied, means I'm saying we have already studied, presuming that we all belongs to computer engineering and you all have already studied linked list. So in linked list there was a node, and there was in that node there were two parts. One was the data and the second was the address of another node. So as the word blockchain, let's divide this word in two parts, block and chain. So this blockchain is also having two components. One is the block and second is a chain. So blocks are connected together with each other in the form of a chain. Now resemble this word blockchain with linked list. When we resemble this word with linked list, what picture does it gives us in our mind is that linked list was also having a node. The node was having a data and that node was connected to another node with the help of the address. So we can say that blockchain is somewhat similar to the data structure of linked list. I'm repeating, we can say it is somewhat similar, though it is not actually similar, but we say that there is certain similarity between blockchain and linked list, that it is also having the similarity between blockchain and linked list is that it is having a node and it is linked with another node. I want to see the chat. Anyhow, let's proceed with this like this only. So blockchain, I was telling this that it is similar to a linked list. Now we will see certain definitions of blockchain, that what blockchain is defined in different books, in different journals or in different papers, that how do we define blockchain. But before we take the definition of blockchain, let us understand it with various examples. Now suppose that you live in a colony and you all decide that you all will contribute certain amount of money for the welfare of that colony. And for that contribution, what you do is you deposit that amount to some old fellow in the colony, thinking that the old fellow to whom you are depositing the amount will be very trustworthy and he will keep your amount safe. But what happens that when you need that amount, a mishappening happens and that old fellow dies. So you all say nothing to worry. We have deposited the money with that old fellow, and that old fellow was already having a record and a register, we can say, and he was maintaining the record in the register, and the register was kept safe in his almirah. So you go to his house and you ask for that register, and you are astonished to see that the register is not visible, means the register is not there in his almirah. What happens? That old fellow was very loyal, but he was having a grandson who was of our generation, and our generation is not loyal. So the person whose grandson has stolen that register, and all the money which we deposited and the record was kept with that old fellow is no more exists. So we have lost that record which was kept with that old fellow. Now, can you use your chat box and answer it, that what option of what is the similarity between the example which I have given to you and a technology which we use in computers? Yes, now I can see the chat box. Yeah, I can see so many good afternoon. Instead of good afternoon, I want to answer. I want to centralized versus decentralized. Rohit ji has answered. No, I'm not asking versus Rohit ji. Good answer. Database and data structure, centralized database. Roshan ji have written a very correct answer, that the example I have given to you is an example of centralized computing. So this phenomena, which I say is a centralized computing, where a central person was responsible for each and everything. Means who was responsible? A central person was responsible for each and everything. So centralized computing was having a flaw. Now listen very carefully, because next question will come to you, and I hope that maximum of you should answer it. Now, in the second scenario, we say, okay, we will not do this thing. This time we will collect the money and we will give the record to 5 persons of the society. So instead of 1 person of the society, there are 5 persons, those who are keeping the record. So 5 persons are keeping the record, and we all remain very safe and calm, and we say that 5 persons are keeping the record, so nothing can happen, and now we all are safe. But what happens after a period of a year? A person like Nirav Modi comes, and we all know that Nirav Modi is a very sharp person. And what does this Nirav Modi do is, Nirav Modi comes and he influences these 5 persons, and these 5 persons, what they do is they change the records in their registers. When we went to them, we find that the records are changed. So again, our money is at loss. Now use your chat box and try to give the answer that which technology of computers I am comparing with this example, where instead of 1 person, 5 persons are keeping the record. Shavanan, very good. Distributed databases. Distributed. Good. So this means that whatever I am explaining, you are able to get. So this chat box RAID. RAID is something we will call it for the timing, a distributed database. So what technology was? So first we saw what is centralized computing. Then we saw what is distributed computing. So distributed computing was also having a flaw. Now we find out another way. And in this way, what do we do is, instead of keeping the record with 5 persons, suppose there are, how many participants are there? Approximately 200 participants are there. So all 200 participants are having his own register, and every participant is keeping the record in the register. Okay, so every person living in the colony is keeping a record in the register. Suppose Mr. X gives rupees 100. So Mr. X will also record that Mr. X has given rupees 100. Other 99 participants will also record that Mr. X has given rupees 100. And when all of us are keeping the record, then there is no case that any fraud can happen, because everyone has kept the record of each and everyone. And we are entering the record only when we are saying that there is a voter system, that when majority of us agree that yes, this thing has happened, then only the record will be entered into our system. Now this system where the record is distributed to each one of us is called blockchain. So if we see this thing, so this is the easiest way we can understand what a blockchain is. So what a blockchain is, where the record is kept with each and every one of us. Now let's see certain definitions of blockchain. So blockchain is a distributed ledger. All of you have already answered that blockchain means what is distributed computing. So distributed, where it is distributed among all of us, it is not centralized. Ledger means it is keeping the record. Now to keep the record, it is using a block. We will come to know what is a block after some time. So blockchain is a distributed ledger. Second characteristic of blockchain is that it is a permission database. It is definitely a type of database, but it is a permission database where only the person, those whom are giving the permission, can enter. They only can enter it, and they only can do certain things. It is a restriction based system. Blockchain is also called we can say that it is a special type of data structure. As I already compared it with linked list, so blockchain is also a special type of data structure. So friends, to revise, what is a blockchain? Blockchain is a distributed database. It is a special type of data structure. To understand it in simpler terms, we say that blockchain is a distributed ledger. Now let's take another definition of blockchain. A blockchain is essentially a database where information is chronologically stored in a continuously growing chain of data blocks. What is it? It is definitely a database where information is stored in a growing chain of data blocks. The blocks will keep on adding. Remember the concept of linked list. The blocks will keep on adding. Implemented in a decentralized network. How it is implemented? In a decentralized network. One person is sitting in Goa, one person is sitting in America. All of them are connected with each other. So it is a decentralized network. And what does it give? It gives us integrity, trust, and security. How does it give that integrity, trust, and security? We will see it. One factor which we have already seen, that how does it give us integrity, trust, and security, is because all of us are responsible. All of us are having a ledger. where we are keeping the record, and it does not require any intermediary. If I give the permission, anyone can join. So it does not require any central authority or intermediary to interact with. So this is the power of blockchain. Now let's proceed. Another definition so that we come to know what a blockchain is actually. A blockchain can be regarded as a global spreadsheet. All of you know Google Docs, Google spreadsheets. So to compare it easily, we can say blockchain is also a global spreadsheet or an incorruptible digital ledger. What is it? Where it is a digital ledger. Ledger means जैसे पहले जमाने में बहीखाता होता था, where we used to write our records. So it is an incorruptible digital ledger. It is an incorruptible digital register. Incorruptible because we cannot corrupt it. If we do some entry which is wrong, we cannot delete any entry from it. We have to do another entry to correct the entry which has been done written wrongly, but we cannot delete something. Where financial transactions and any data or asset can be represented, shared and transacted with. Friends, the power of blockchain is that in this blockchain, we can use any type of data, we can be used for any type of application. We will be seeing this in other slides. Simply defined, we can say a blockchain is a distributed, secure block file. This is a Wikipedia definition of blockchain, which says it is a continuously growing list of records called blocks, which are linked and secured using cryptography. Now, these blocks are somewhat similar to linked list. I have already told you, but what is the benefit? That it is secured. All these blocks are secured by using heavy encryption and decryption. I'll be talking a little bit about what encryption and decryption we use in blockchain. So cryptography is used to make it secure. Now to summarize what a blockchain is, just to know what a blockchain is before we proceed. See, the basic aim of this webinar of 1 hour is so that I can tell you what a blockchain is, and we will see a little experiment. In my chat box, I'll be sharing you a link where we are organizing in our university, Gurukul Kangra University, in association with IBM, totally technical collaboration with IBM. We are conducting a 5 days short-term course on blockchain, where total hands-on experience will be shown to you on blockchain on 2 or 3 technologies of blockchain, but it would be only for selected participants. So registration we have started from today. You can register over there and we'll be selecting you, but do register only if you are interested in blockchain. Do not register for the sake of certificate, because it will be a totally hands-on experimental workshop. You will not be in interest if you do not do on hands-on workshop. So depending upon your profile, we'll be selecting certain participants. You do not require huge number of crowd in it. It is a free workshop and I'll be sharing the link. So those of you who are interested to know, they can join that workshop. Now blockchain is a cryptographically secured record of transactions stored in a decentralized network. So what is blockchain? It is a cryptographically secured record of transaction. Now what is a transaction? I'll tell you. Stored on decentralized network where each block contains various transactions which are approved after complex consensus algorithm. Now what is a transaction and what is a consensus algorithm? Let me share this thing with you. Now, yes, I'll answer all this question. Just hold on. Now, what is a complex consensus algorithm is? See, I say that we are living in a colony and we all decide to keep our own ledger. And when we are keeping our own ledger, then there will be a certain criteria that how we can make an entry into the ledger. When we make an entry into the ledger, we have to reach to a consensus. So we can reach to a consensus that 50% of us have, when 50% of us agree that yes, this person has given the money, then only the entry would be done into the ledger. So this is a consensus algorithm. Every blockchain platform uses its own consensus algorithm. We don't have to worry for consensus algorithm. The blockchain platform takes care of it. Now, what is a transaction? Over here, within a block can have n number of transactions. Now, what is a transaction? Transaction can be anything. It is not only the money transaction that I give a money to someone. it depends upon the application we are making. Now, suppose if I am making an application of a supply chain management where a truck driver is taking biscuits from one factory to another factory. So when he reach from one city to another city, this is one transaction. So this record is added into the block. When he reach depending upon the applications. Now, let's take certain queries. What does a blockchain represent here, a person or a transaction? See, blockchain is, someone has answered, what is a blockchain? Arpita Chaudhary asked this. What does a blockchain represent? Arpita, blockchain does not represent a person or a transaction. Blockchain represents basically a decentralized network. It is a database, it is a data structure which can be used for any application. You can say that blockchain is a software which can be used for any application where you want security and distribution, means distributed computing. I'll talk about security, do not worry. Yes, a prior knowledge of coding is mandatory for blockchain. Chronological means it is in a specific order. We will see certain use case of blockchain in university, Mr. Mohammed. We always talk about blockchain at the end, and this webinar is hardly for 30-40 minutes. I have told you that we'll be having a blockchain short-term course of 5 days. Many use cases will be covered on those use cases. Thank you. Now let's proceed further. Just so that you understand what a blockchain is. A blockchain is a distributed ledger technology that establishes trust, accountability, and transparency to streamline and innovate process across any business network. Many people was asking what is a blockchain. So it is a technology, distributed ledger technology. Why it is used to establish trust, accountability, and it can be used across any business network. You can use in any business model, you can use in any university. Even when you use an ERP solution, you can transfer that ERP solution into a blockchain. Now, what makes this blockchain secure? If you are from the field of computers, you must have heard of the word hash. So blockchain technology uses hashing, and it uses specifically different hashing algorithms depending upon the platform. The most common one which is used by blockchain is SHA-256. Even to link two different blocks, even to store the data, even to store the transactions, even to store the addresses, each and everything which is stored in a blockchain is stored after using SHA-256 hash algorithm. Now on your screen, you can see the power of SHA-256 algorithm. I apply SHA-256 on the word hello world. The output which is written on the right, this is the output of SHA-256. Now, a small change I have done, that is an exclamation mark. As soon as I do an exclamation mark, this is the new SHA-256 which I get. Now, see, when everything in blockchain is being encrypted using SHA-256, then even a small change in your data, even a small corruption in your data will result in a totally different hash function. So it is difficult to break the hash function. So this is one of the factors which made it secure. There are other factors also, but this is one of the major factors. Therefore, I have told about SHA-256. Bharti ji, now blockchain, if you search Google, many banks have adopted blockchain, and TCS got various projects where various Indian banks are working in blockchain technology. And in foreign countries, blockchain has already been adopted by banks. You search Google, you will find it. Now let's proceed. Just to give you a brief overview of different types of platform we use in blockchain. Now, blockchain is divided into 3 types of platforms. Now, platform is, we don't have to build something in blockchain. We just have to write our code. The platform is already there. For example, you are already having a Windows, you write your application over there. So blockchain is already there. There are different types of platforms which are already available in the blockchain. We categorize in 3 categories. public, private, and consortium. Public, where anyone can join. Private, where there are certain restrictions. Consortium, which is used for certain organizations only. Now, I'm sharing you the name of certain platforms which are very famous. Now, on the screen, you can see on the left-hand side, in the first column, these are different platforms. A-Chain, Azure, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hyperchain, HydraChain, Hyperledger, and various other platforms are also there. And there was the answer that do we require any programming language? The Am I connected again? I think there was a yes, there was a network issue. The net dot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. The screen is visible.
No, sir.
Okay, I'll share it again. Just hold on. Yes, now it is visible. No? The screen is visible now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let's proceed. Now, what I was telling was that there are different platforms, and these are the programming languages. If you see on the fourth column, that you need to know these programming languages. Not all. Suppose you want to work on IOTA, then Python will do. Suppose you want to work on Ethereum, then Solidity will do. Suppose you want to work on Hyperledger, then C++, Solidity. Nowadays in Hyperledger, we are using Go language. Now, in that short-term course, we will be teaching you two blockchain platforms. One is Ethereum, and the second is Hyperledger. These two blockchain platforms will be shared with you, will be taught to you in those 5 days workshop. Let's proceed further. In between, if you have any queries, do write on your chat window. Every transaction, please wait. What does a block represent to have a person or block or not blockchain every time? I think I have answered the maximum of the questions. Let's proceed. Now, let's see what are the different components of blockchain. We have already talked, these are the main 4 components of blockchain, friends. We already talked what is a ledger. A ledger is where the record is being kept. Consensus mechanism, only when there is a consensus among the participants, then only the block will be joined into the chain. Otherwise, it cannot join. Now, the person who joins this block into the chain is called a miner. We have no need to study for the miner at the time being, but the person who is having this consensus mechanism, who is holding this consensus mechanism, the platform is running this consensus mechanism, and after this consensus mechanism, a miner joins the block into the blockchain. A digital asset. Whenever we work into the blockchain, we say that there should be some cryptocurrency. What is a cryptocurrency? For example, when we talk about Indian rupees, that is our currency. In blockchain, we require certain type of cryptocurrency to authenticate our transactions. So we call it a digital asset. Network participant. Suppose we all are joining in that blockchain. So we all are participants of that blockchain. So these are the 4 main components of the blockchain, which makes a complete blockchain. The platform is already there. We have to write our code. Now, how to write a code is, we can't tell in a single class, though I'll share one example with you. Now, friends, there are different consensus mechanisms involving. Now, the one of the consensus mechanism which is highly used is called proof of work. Now, proof of work was a consensus mechanism which was, you must have heard of the word Bitcoin. I'll not talk about Bitcoin today, but you must have heard of the word Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin was the consensus mechanism, proof of work was the consensus.
I think some technical issues are there. We will be back soon.
Yes. But But what is consensus mechanism is? Consensus mechanism is the technology is, it is an algorithm which allows your block to join into the chain. Now coming back to this slide, just see this slide very carefully. Platforms are written on the left, and different platforms uses different type of consensus mechanism. We don't have to worry anything. The platform itself take care of the consensus mechanism. So Ethereum works on proof of work. POS stands for proof of stake. Hyperledger work on Bayesian fault tolerance and proof of elapsed time. There are different type of consensus mechanism. Each platform has its own consensus mechanism, and different platforms are of different type, whether it is a public, whether it is a private, whether it is a consortium, whether it is an open source. Now what we have studied, let's summarize what we have studied up to now. Blockchain is a distributed technology, sustainable. It is going to sustain whatever you write on blockchain cannot be removed. It is secure. Security is one of the main feature of blockchain. You cannot change it. It is indelible. It is transparent because all the participants of the blockchain are visible to everyone. And it is auditable. We can audit the records. We cannot change it, but we can audit it and we can view it. I've already told that it is a consensus based. It is flexible. We can make our own application and we can use blockchain depending upon our use. There is no restriction from the side of the platform. You can compare it as a Windows platform. We have to write our code and we have to use it. Now, before we proceed, we have already seen it is a shared ledger, a consensus-based mechanism. There is the permission for privacy. Another thing which I want to say is the code which we write in blockchain is generally called a smart contract. Now, what is a smart contract? A smart contract is a contract which is written on a blockchain platform by the user who is creating the blockchain, who is creating his own application. Now, this smart contract will execute itself, and because it executes itself and it full checks whether the condition which you have put in the contract is fulfilled or not, it creates a block depending upon the conditions which you have given in the smart contract. Therefore, this code is called a smart contract, because it does not require any third-party interference. It is itself smart, it will itself execute, and it will check all the conditions, and only when all the conditions are true, the block will be introduced into the blockchain. This is a small example of how do we write a code in Solidity. We will not speak on Solidity today, definitely, but I've shared a small example of Solidity. Now, there was a question that in what industries it can be used. We will not see the video. We skip the video. Now, blockchain can be used in medical. Blockchain can be, how do we use it in medical? Suppose you want to keep the record of the patient, the hospitals, the doctors. Every records can be kept in a technology which is using a blockchain. The platform is of blockchain. You make your application on that platform and you keep the records. And all the records are visible to every patient and every doctor, but they cannot change it. Means changes can be done only by the administrator and the person who is having the record. Blockchain can be very well used in voting. In our college, we use blockchain for voting. When we do students voting for the teachers, we use blockchain technology. So many applications of voting is already available on internet, which is being used on blockchain. Yesterday only, if you search on Indian patents, I have one of my patent is published in which we have used blockchain for rehabilitation of the river. So search in Google computing, also search in Google, go to Indian Patent Services and write down my name, Mayank Agarwal. You will find a patent on blockchain, in which we have used blockchain for securing the water of river, any river. We made it for Ganga river, but it can be used for any river. So blockchain technology, there is no limit. It can be used for any application. It can be used for supply chain management. It can be used for hospital records. It can be used for insurance records. Uber is using blockchain. Blockchain can be used for land registry. See, there is so much frauds in lands. If you go to buy a land, so we come to know that this land has already been bought by someone else. But if the record is kept on blockchain, then all the participants, all the citizens of the country can see that record and no one can change it. If we buy the land once, then no one can change it. So it becomes very much secure. Now, just to share with you an interesting episode, we can even do a marriage on a blockchain. So an application we create and say that instead of going to the court, we will register our marriage on the blockchain. So this was the world's first Bitcoin wedding. It took place on August 5, 2014. So this was the first Bitcoin marriage. Means two persons came and they married to each other and they recorded their marriage on a blockchain. So this is an example to tell you that blockchain can be used in any field. Now there are various applications which have been built on blockchain. You can Google it and you can find these applications. Follow My Vote, Showcard, Arcade City. These are various applications which have already been made on blockchain and it is available. Everledger, Brooklyn Mogrid, BitShares, Augur. There are various other applications. Now, to conclude with, just to show you, if there are any queries, just write down on the chat window.
हेलो, ये जो QA एंड A ऑप्शन आपके सामने आ रहा होगा, सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स ध्यान दें, जो Q&A ऑप्शन आ रहा है आपके सामने, आप इस पे अपने क्वेश्चंस लिख सकते हैं. थैंक यू.
So if there are no queries, then we will do a small feedback link. People are worried of the feedback link so that they can get the certificate. Great. Now, just hold on.
जैसे इसमें Q&A ऑप्शन है, उसमें बच्चे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो क्वेश्चन आंसर लिख रहे हैं, तो क्वेश्चन लिख रहे हैं. Q&A आपके सामने एक ऑप्शन आ रहा होगा. हेलो, मेरी आवाज सुन पा रहे हैं आप? आई थिंक कुछ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. अभी मैन जी वापस आ जाएंगे. थोड़ी देर में आपको फीडबैक फॉर्म प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा. अगर आपके कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप Q&A में ऑप्शन है, उस पर आप भर सकते हैं. फीडबैक फॉर्म आपको सेंड कर दिया गया है, लिंक सेंड कर दिया गया है, उसको आप भर सकते हैं. जो उसको भरेगा उसी को सर्टिफिकेट मिल पाएगा.
Yes.
So,
sorry, there was a network issue.
Mayank ji aa gaye hain.
There was a network issue. Now let me answer certain questions, then we will proceed. Let me see. What is the programming language? The programming language which we use, Solidity we use, Python we use, depending upon the platform. Is it used for my video? Can you please tell how can we identify whether a particular problem can be solved on? I mean, see, most of the problems can be solved by blockchain. It depends upon how much you want to give your time for that application. But we do not say that blockchain can be used for any type of application. Though technically you can use it for any type of application, it depends upon your use. Blockchain is generally recommended when there are different type of users, those who are accessing that application. If you want trust, then blockchain is required. If you think that your application is already secure, then there is no need. How blockchain can be used for addressing supply chain? Ashashri Praharaj has answered a very good question. How blockchain is used for supply chain management. Please just Google supply chain management and blockchain. You will find lots of papers, and even there are various patents for blockchain using supply chain management. See, what is a supply chain management? Suppose I want to distribute something from my home to other person. I want to keep the record that what I have distributed from one place to another place and what all steps I have taken. So every record is being kept on the blockchain of supply chain. This is how blockchain is used on supply chain management. I heard in past there was some problem in Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin is something which is totally different. Bitcoin was used for people for other things. Blockchain, Bitcoin is one of the application of Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is an application of blockchain. We use the blockchain. If we go to the history of blockchain, it is not far. From 2015, blockchain came to use applications. First, Bitcoin was famous, but now Bitcoin is not our cup of tea. Bitcoin is for others. We have to see the technical point, and that is blockchain. Don't talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something which is not technical thing, we can say. Bitcoin is for other purpose. We are not over here to discuss anything about Bitcoin. I think most of the queries have been answered. In case any other queries there, then do tell.
If you have any
link on the chat box, etherscan.io. Just open this link, etherscan.io. I'm writing it.
Manika Anandan want to ask something. Can we call him?
Yeah, please.
Yes. Manika, could you listen to me? Please say what you want to ask. I think if anybody want to ask question, they can raise their hand. Shubham Singh want to ask questions.
Please, Shubham, ask.
Shubham, you are connected. Please ask your question. Unmute your mic.
Hello, I'm
Yes,
audible?
Yes, Shubham, audible. Please ask.
Sir, I want to know that, sir, I want to ask some, I have a question that at what type of applications can be made by using the blockchain technologies?
Shubham, we can make any type of application using blockchain. I just showed you on my presentation also. Even you can make a simple, you are a student or a teacher, Shubham, can you please tell something? Then I'll tell you an application where you can use it.
Shubham, unmute your mic.
Hello?
Yeah, Shubham. Just tell me something about yourself.
Hi, my name is Shubham Singh and I am a software engineer in Tata Consultancy Services. And
great, Shubham.
Yeah.
So, Shubham, TCS is already having a blockchain division, and TCS is working for so many blockchain platforms. So just to answer your query, suppose your clients, TCS has got different types of clients. TCS is working for banks also. TCS is working now for passports also. Now, suppose the data of passports, you want to store it on a blockchain platform. So you can transfer whatever application TCS is using for storing the data of different passports holders. It can be transferred on a blockchain technology also. It depends upon that how much security we wish. That is the main difference. Okay. And we are having a 5 days workshop. I've already shared the link in the chat box. You can register yourself in that 5 days workshop where hands-on experiments will be covered on blockchain. Thank you.
Shivangi Gidyal is with us. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you. Shivangi Gidyal with us. First, I will request that first introduce yourself, then ask the question. I request all the participants first introduce yourself and then ask the question. Shivangi Gidyal, can you unmute your mic and you can.
Hello, sir. It was very informative session. I just want to ask. My name is Shivangi Gidyal. I'm assistant professor in Novartis University. My question is, can we apply blockchain in cloud securities? Like, is there any provision for using blockchain there?
Great, Shivangi. Cloud is a bigger name. All the platforms of we work of blockchain, these have been built on cloud only. If we talk about Hyperledger, so Hyperledger uses IBM Cloud. But your question is that can we apply blockchain on a cloud technology? So this is a very general question. Can you just elaborate it? Means what type of you want to work with? These are two different technologies. Cloud is used as the backend to host the services of blockchain. Okay, cloud is used at the backend to host the services of blockchain. Even the Hyperledger itself is being hosted on an IBM cloud. And if you want that you are combining both blockchain and cloud, then it is very easy. You can use any cloud and you can combine it within blockchain technology. But if we talk about simulation like we do in CloudSim, then simulation can't be done with blockchain. Means there is no simulator where blockchain works. And in case you can more elaborate your query, so I think I can answer it more further.
We have Manisha Tandon from, she wants to ask a question. Manisha Tandon, can you unmute your mic? We have connected you. Manisha Tandon. Manisha Tandon, unmute your mic. Some technical problem, I think.
Hello.
Manisha Tandon. Yes, Manisha Tandon, you can ask your question.
Yeah, hi sir, good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah, Manisha, please tell.
I think some technical issue there. And Yogesh Kushwaha, Mr. Yogesh Kushwaha, can you listen to me? You unmute your mic and you can ask the question. Yogesh Kushwaha.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. My question is, what is the role in banking system? Can be
Yogesh, first introduce yourself, please.
Hello.
Yogesh Kushwaha, first introduce yourself. Please.
Actually, I am logging the ID of the Yogesh Kushwaha. My name is Omveer Singh, an entrepreneur having a 10-year experience in the IT field.
Okay.
My question is the basic question: what is the role in the banking system? In banking system, is implement on the particular model systems, or can be developed a complete banking system by the using of the blockchain? Have you?
Great. Yeah, please. It is audible. See, in foreign countries, blockchain is being used for banking system. The complete banking system has been made on blockchain technology. I'm just repeating it. You consider blockchain as an operating system. You are using blockchain as a platform at the back end. Over that platform, you can make any type of application. Over that platform, you can make any type of application, whether it is banking, whether it is anything. Starting from the birth of a person till the death of the person, you can make an application where all the record of that person is recorded on a blockchain. Now I'm giving another example. Suppose there is a birth at one home. We go to the birth certificate to the registrar office. Instead of going to the registrar office to get the birth certificate, if there is a blockchain platform where we log in into that platform and we request for the birth certificate, and the birth certificate has been generated. Now, when we go to the school to take the admission, the school principal will open that platform which has been made on blockchain, and the birth certificate would be available on that platform, and he can authorize and he can view that birth certificate, and he does not require birth certificate from your end. Till whole 12 years in the school, all the mark sheets are being fed into that blockchain platform, into that application. When he goes to the college principal just log in into that system and he viewed what was his last marks. When he go to the employer checks all the credentials. When the person dies, the death certificate is also there on the blockchain. So blockchain is something to keep the records on a very safe manner, where all the participants can view depending upon the restrictions which the administrator have given it. And within this 30, 40, 50 minutes, we can't explain the entire working of the blockchain. Thank you. Thank you, Hitesh, sir.
I think a lot of questions are there. Sir, thank you. We are going to end. I think a lot of participants want to ask, but a limitation of time. So it's really a very nice webinar.
The pleasure is all mine.
I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our today's guest Mayank Agarwal for gracing today's webinar and delivering an enriching address. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time for us. And today we got an opportunity to hear you, and this will surely be going to encourage in us in our future event. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and has shown a new path. My gratitude to the speakers for gracing the occasion and sharing their valuable thoughts today. I'm sure all the participants have taken note on your address and will take action at their end. I'm really thankful to our management, our chairman, Vivek Group of College Bijnor, Shri Amit Goyal ji, Secretary Deepak Mittal ji, and Treasurer D.K. Agarwal ji for providing such an opportunity and such a platform and motivate us for organizing such kind of webinar. I thank all my colleagues who support me to organize such kind of webinar, and I cannot forget Mr. Anuj Kumar Sharma, our technical assistant. He always support us. Without his support, we cannot complete any webinar. And thank you very much to all the participants for participating in this webinar. Thank you. And Manji, really thank you too much.
Thank you, Hitesh. Thank you.
You have spare time for हमारे एक छोटे से रिक्वेस्ट पे आपने हमें समय दिया, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. बहुत थैंक यू.
विवेक कॉलेज बहुत बढ़िया कर रहा है हितेश जी. थैंक यू
सर. थैंक यू.
बहुत सारा आ रहा है. काइंडली शेयर द वर्कशॉप लिंक. वर्कशॉप लिंक मैंने शेयर कर दिया है, वो ऊपर चला गया होगा चैट में, है ना? आई होप सो. अदरवाइज
इसमें हम आपको जब मैं पार्टिसिपेंट से मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि हमने एक फीडबैक फॉर्म लिंक भेजा है, आप उसको अवश्य भर दें, अदरवाइज हम ई सर्टिफिकेट नहीं दे पाएंगे. इसलिए वो जो फीडबैक फॉर्म है उसको भरना जरूरी है आप लोगों को. अभी वो 10 मिनट तक एक्टिव रहेगा. 10 मिनट बाद. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू वेरी मच. थैंक्स अ लॉट फॉर गिविंग अस टाइम. थैंक यू.